Hello Eastern and welcome to the October 18th edition of ETV News. I'm Chris Pagano.
And I'm Alexia Muniz. Thank you so much for joining us.
On Thursday, October 11th, Eastern, in an effort to raise awareness about mental health issues, hosted Fresh Check Day, a day designed to reduce stigma surrounding mental health issues. This annual event had students participate in different interactive booths that deliver mental health and resource information in a fun and engaging way. In 2012, Eastern was the first college campus to host an event like this. Since then, Fresh Check Days have expanded all across the country, with the goal being to help high school and college-age students maintain their mental health.
Eastern Connecticut State University created an agreement with the Connecticut Police Academy this summer that allows Academy graduates to enroll at Eastern with 12 credits towards a criminology degree or other major. Police Academy graduates who enrolled prior to this fall should contact the Office of Continuing Studies and Enhanced Learning at 860-465-0206 for assistance with getting credits for their training applied to their transcripts. For those interested in becoming future students, winter session classes start at the end of December.
Eastern Connecticut State University held its 10th annual Poverty Awareness Marathon on Friday, October 5th. At this year's event, almost 200 members of the Eastern community walked and ran to raise awareness, as well as donating 378 food items that were donated to the Covenant Soup Kitchen, Sean's Cupboard, Eastern's on-campus food pantry. Marathon runners participated for as many laps around campus as their schedules permitted, some for a single lap and others for a half marathon. Professor Charlie Chatterton, who has competed in numerous marathons, ran 28 miles in 6 hours. Along with running laps, students signed large, colorful posters pledging to volunteer in upcoming events and to call attention to issues of poverty with their friends and family. Among them were several athletes from Eastern sports teams, including the men's and women's cross-country teams, men's basketball, and women's lacrosse. The marathon was organized by the Center for Community Engagement and the student organization People Helping People.
Eastern hosted a panel of Travelers Insurance employees on October 3rd. Panelists spoke with students about interviews, resumes, and corporate leadership. The event was organized by the Center for Internships and Career Development. 3 of the 5 panelists were Eastern alumni. The panelists fielded questions about their paths from college to the corporate world and offered tips on how to succeed in the job application process. Students were advised to dress well for interviews, to do research on the company, and to ask follow-up questions. Never stop learning, urged one of the panelists. When you transition from college to a career, it's just another step. Take the same lessons you learned from here to your job.
On Saturday, October 13th, Housing and Residential Life presented Eastern's Got Talent, a contest where 13 acts competed against one another with their own unique talent to win $500 in prizes. Of the 13 acts, 4 were chosen to win prizes. 4th place was awarded to Evan Barrick for his Magic Card Act. 3rd place was awarded to Serena and Olivia Inako for their dancing performance. 2nd place was awarded to United Voices of Praise for their singing performance. Finally, 1st place was awarded to Michael Facey for his stellar rap performance. Congratulations to all of the performers.
On Wednesday, October 24th, Eastern will be hosting another University Hour event on the proposal of transforming Puerto Rico's electric grid with rooftop solar communities that pool available resources to operate as microgrids. The human suffering caused by Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico has been immense. The catastrophe exposed the lack of maintenance to the grid and the lack of environmental planning. This free and open public event takes place in the Student Center Theater starting at 3 p.m.
Next Thursday, October 25th, YouTube sensation Derek Brown will showcase his unique talent of saxophone playing with beatboxing and vocals in a cross-genre performance here at Eastern. The performance will take place at 7:30 in the concert hall of the Fine Arts Instructional Center. The event is free and open to the public.
The fall semester is nearly halfway done, meaning it's time for students to register for classes for the spring semester. Seniors can register for classes starting this week, juniors can begin next week, sophomores the week after, and freshmen can begin to register for classes starting on November 12th.
On October 12th, Eastern Connecticut State University hosted its 3rd Latin American and Caribbean Studies Conference. The symposium featured research presentations and panel discussions by Eastern faculty and students, as well as a keynote presentation by visiting Professor Elizabeth Paravizini-Gebert of Vassar College. The conference featured presentations by Eastern faculty, including sociology professor Dennis Canterbury, geography professor Patrick Vitale, and history professor Joanne Menzar.
Last Friday, Eastern's Housing Department hosted one of their Friday After Dark events. Last week's event featured magician Elliot Zimmett, who has appeared on numerous television shows, including America's Got Talent. ETV News reporter Imani Futrell caught up with one of the Eastern students after the show to see how it went.
Okay, so I'm here with Eve. Eve, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How was the show? How do you feel?
It was so good. He was so funny, first of all. Because can I tell you something?
Okay, so I'm here with Eve. Eve, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How was the show? How do you feel?
It was so good. He was so funny, first of all. Because can I tell you something that he did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he went, he told the girls to draw something in the air. And this girl drew an elephant. And after he drew it, she was like, no, he was like, sorry, I got nervous.
You're good, you're good.
He was like, what was that? And he just played her so bad. He was playing everyone in the crowd.
Oh my goodness. Sounds like a fun time.
Thanks, Imani. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Megan Brooks will be here with this week's editorial. Stay with us.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Thank you for joining me for this week's editorial. I'm Megan Brooks. It's flu season, which means everyone around us is getting the sniffles and coughs. A wise idea would be to get vaccinated and to have your children vaccinated, but not just for the flu shot. I know that sounds atrocious to anti-vaccinators, but it's even scarier to those who do vaccinate. The rates of children not being vaccinated against life-threatening illnesses and diseases have been skyrocketing. In 2017, 1.3% of the children born in 2015 hadn't gotten their recommended immunizations. In 2001, that was true of only 0.3%. Now, that could be from families not having proper access to health care and insurance, but a growing trend in families is to not vaccinate themselves and their children due to fear of autism, harmful chemicals, sicknesses from the vaccine, and more unrealistic myths. There is no correlation that MMR causes autism. And according to the CDC, the amount of formaldehyde in vaccines for polio hepatitis, and other vaccines is smaller than the amount our bodies produce. The idea that everyone else has vaccinated their kids so you don't have to is simply ignorant and foolish. Infectious diseases happen, and a certain percentage of people in the area must be vaccinated to keep outbreaks from happening. That's not to say your child should not be vaccinated because the other people in your area will. It's to say that you should to improve the chances of staying healthy and keeping everyone around you healthy. It's known as herd immunity. If an outbreak does happen, those who have not vaccinated are going to get sick. You cannot count on other people's immunity to protect your children. Thank you for joining me for this week's editorial. I'm Megan Brooks. Let's send it back to Alexia and Chris.
Thanks, Megan. We'll be right back after these short messages. Stay with us.
I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt haunted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
President Trump vows to leave nothing uncovered regarding the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi Arabian journalist who has been not seen in weeks. Trump on Monday sent Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to Saudi Arabia to meet with King Salman, the King of Saudi Arabia.
I'm really sending him just to find out, really firsthand, what happened, what they know, what's going on. He may go to Turkey, he may not. He may meet with all of them together, but we want to find out what happened. And he's got instructions to find out what happened.
Khashoggi has not been seen since he entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd. The Saudis say that he left shortly after. Turkish investigators were inside for the first time on Monday. President Trump told 60 Minutes that there would be severe punishments if Washington Post columnist and Saudi critic was found to be killed. Members of Congress want to answer, including Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana.
Something happened to him, and I don't think he fell through a hole in the fabric of the universe. I think he was murdered. I think the Saudis are certainly acting like they did it. Don't know whether King Salman or Prince Mohammed knew about it. Not sure it matters.
Saudi Arabia faces diplomatic and economic pressure from the West. The UK, France, and Germany have demanded a credible investigation, and a number of key figures have pulled out of a major investment summit in Riyadh later this month, including U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin.
This week, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, along with Florida Governor Rick Scott, toured the devastation in Florida caused by Hurricane Michael. Michael was the worst hurricane to hit the Sunshine State since the 1990s. In total, the storm has claimed the lives of 29 people, including 19 Floridians. The president said in a press conference that unlike anything anyone has ever seen.
They haven't seen anything like it, and possibly there hasn't been anything like it. The wind's almost 200 miles an hour, just wiped houses away. The foundations, everything gone. So we saw some areas that were hard to believe, actually hard to believe. But the people are incredible in Florida, in Georgia, in Alabama, and you know, North Carolina and South Carolina went through a lot 2 weeks ago, and they got a little bit of the remnants of this one too on top of it.
With over 100,000 Florida residents still without power, FEMA says 16,000 federal employees and 8,000 military personnel are helping with response efforts.
On Monday night, President Donald Trump's On Monday night, President Donald Trump's 2020 re-election campaign announced that it had raised more than $18 million over the past 3 months, which means Donald Trump has raised in total $106 million for a race that's 2 years away. Trump has ranked in more than 26.5 times what Obama has raised for his re-election race and 32 times what Bush has raised. What Trump does differently than his predecessors is actively fundraises for his re-election campaign, where usually during this time money goes towards candidates who are on the ballot in the midterm elections.
The NBA season got underway Tuesday night as we see here the 2018 NBA champion Golden State Warriors with their championship rings took on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder put up a good fight without their leader, Russell Westbrook, but the Warriors, led by Stephen Curry's 32 points, took down the Thunder 108-100. Reigning NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant also added 27 points. Leading scorer for the Thunder was Paul George, who also had 27 points. This was not the only game on opening night, as the Celtics took down the 76ers 105-87. The Celtics were led by second-year star Jason Tatum, who finished with 23 points.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, announced earlier this week that they are expecting their first child. The couple, who married in May, were on a tour of Australia when the news broke. It is a tradition for people in the UK to bet on what the name of the royal baby will be. So far, Victoria, Albert, Diana, Arthur, and Alice are the favorites.
We're going to take another quick break, but we'll be right back with Dom Conti and his sports update.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Hello, Eastern. I'm Dom Conti with this week's sports update. The women's soccer team hit the road on Saturday to take on conference opponent Castleton University. After 2 early goals from Allie Clark, the Spartans tied the game up going into halftime. The Warriors were the beneficiary of an own goal by Castleton with 13 minutes left in the game, but the Spartans answered with a goal of their own 3 minutes later, and the game went into overtime. 5 minutes into the overtime period, Mackenzie Belando found the back of the net for Castleton to give them a 4-3 victory. This marked the first time since October 2015 that the Warriors lost a match in which they scored 3 or more goals. Eastern is now in a tie for second place with Southern Maine in the Little East Conference, and will host the Huskies in a key conference game this Saturday to decide seeding for the LEC playoffs. The men's soccer team also took on Castleton University on Alumni Day at Nevers Field this past Saturday. Now I could talk about what happened in that game, but I'd rather show you. Let's take a look at that goal by Patrick Ageman. You just saw that feed from Sam Hurlbert on the sideline. You're just making it look so easy, calm, cool, and collected. I wish I could do that, but unfortunately I can't. I'm stuck here in the studio. Patrick Ageman giving the Warriors a 1-0 victory over Castleton University. I'm going to look at that one more time right there. Patrick Ageman, once again, Warriors beat Castleton 1-0. They've now held their opponents scoreless for 4 straight matches. The last time they let up a goal was against Connecticut College 11 days ago. The volleyball team was in Pennsylvania over the weekend, where they split a pair of matches versus non-conference opponents. They were able to sweep Farmingdale State in 3 sets while falling to Misericordia University in 5 sets. The Warriors will have a home game tomorrow night against a conference rival in Plymouth State at 6 o'clock p.m. And that's going to do it for this week's Sports Update. Be sure to show your support this weekend for the volleyball, field hockey, and women's soccer teams, who will all have a home game. I'm Dom Conti saying thank you for watching. Now let's send it back to Chris and Alexia.
Thanks, Dom. That's it for this week's show.
If you'd like to see more, thank you for joining us. And if you'd like to see more, follow us on Instagram at ETV News _. I'm Alexia Muniz.
And I'm Chris Pagano. We'll see you next week, Eastern.